Hi, I'm Gabriel Schatzman, and this is Uncentered.
I am Reid Robinson. This is your co-host for Uncentered.
And if you're listening to this, you're probably our first listener.
Probably, most likely.
All right, so hopefully most of this gets deleted and you're only hearing pure gold. Or pure copper, we'll see. We're going to be talking about some things American history, some things current, and just trying not to get ourselves in too much trouble. If you don't like this, then it'll only get better. Please feel free to email me any hate mail that I would love to read. It just means that we have an extra listener, so we win. Were we going to get started and just jump into a history topic, or did you want to riff, or did you want to do the...
I mean, we could introduce ourselves first a little more.
Okay. We are both active duty military. Yeah. I lean liberal.
I lean a little conservative.
Which I definitely have preconceived notions of what that means. I don't know if you're allowed to lean in any way anymore. I think you kind of have to pick a side and die on it.
Yeah. I definitely have more liberal points of views, and I definitely have more conservative points of views, and I think the same goes for you, Gabe.
Sure. I've had this conversation or debate at many people before, where I think if you're a centrist in this point, you've kind of... I think that's just like somebody who's too afraid to pick a side and own it. That's just my take, which is the right one.
Yeah, naturally, right.
Sure.
All of the opinions on this podcast will be the correct opinions,
even when we disagree.
Which
is incredible. I think a little legalese that we do not represent the DoD. We're both trying to get promoted at some point in our careers, and we like the monetary relationship we have with the military. So, no offense intended. We do not represent the Air Force, the DoD, or any government agency, unless they really like us.
We are sitting in chairs. We are not.
We are sitting in chairs.
So I think we're doing.
We are representing the best parts of our service.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll get right into it with the Short King president.
Were we doing Short King, or are we doing the? No, I think we're going hard. I think we're doing. Are we more likely to have a gay first president or an atheist first president, assuming we have not had an out and proud gay and or atheist president?
Right. And potentially the first one could be both gay and atheist.
Sure. No, we could. Which comes first? Who wins? Yeah. If I say a gay one comes first,
and I say atheist comes first, and then the person is gay and atheist.
Right. No, it would be curious, like, if we look back through historical records, and they're like, yeah, Mary Todd, totally, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit.
Well,
Yeah, or...
Well, Lincoln, he was a strong man, so I didn't really breaking...
And a bottom.
Yeah. Surprise. Well, was he?
That's why he was so depressed.
Yeah, definitely not a twink, though. Definitely not a twink. He was, 6?
No, he couldn't be bi. His whole thing was not splitting the union.
Right. He didn't want to split. He didn't want to split his time
he was
between
committed,
Mary Todd and Gary Todd.
He would have had to have been a top. He was a northerner. That's like the top.
Yeah. The top. He wore a top hat, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay. So despite our goal for this being about 45 minutes, I don't know if we're going to get through anything at this rate, despite introductions.
Yeah, I'm not sure any discussion will actually be had other than
No. There are productive. I'm sure there's productive podcasts out there.
Yeah. This is not one of them.
So
this will not be one of them.
Yeah, I'm getting the move on from my editor.
Yeah.
Do you want to? How about I pick? I'll pick. I think we're more likely to have a gay president first.
Okay.
And I'm hoping you disagree with me.
I'm gonna have to take the opposite
position.
Okay, good. Regardless of whether or not I agree or disagree.
Oh, perfect. I hope to never find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But never find out if we have a gay or atheist president.
No, I hope to find out.
Or never find out.
No, I hope no.
How I feel.
I don't know if we have the ability anymore to find out.
Well, we.
I was gonna say I think the first test of presidency is now like swearing fealty and then putting your dick in a hole. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, it could be a. It could be.
Nope. Go there. No, we can
go
there.
We say it could be a butthole instead of a.
I don't know what you'd put that in.
A
lot of our presidents have been buttholes, so I don't know if we can go through that.
We do. Yeah. There have been a couple buttholes.
Some clearly potty language.
There, yeah. Right. That's what I'm trying. I don't know how far we wanted to.
I think
we could say
the fuck word.
We could say fucking ass.
Yeah,
okay.
And
cool.
Maybe not butthole. We have to tone it down.
Tone it down with the
only 20 buttholes.
Well, what I was saying is, president could potentially be putting penises in buttholes.
That would make them the first gay president, yeah.
It would make them the first gay president.
Well, no,
So-
to be fair, no. Because that's just, now we're already going to go like sexuality is a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're romantically interested in it. Maybe that's just how they get off, right?
So it could be a fetish.
Sure.
So which
what
would
are the
the first
criteria?
gay president be actually gay or just fetish-based gay?
I'm seeing 7 U.S. presidents who were rumored to be gay or bisexual. It's weird that it has Obama.
Please
on
tell
there
me Abe
twice.
was-
Stuff it doesn't have.
It doesn't
Obama
count
was
on
up
there
there
twice.
twice.
Yeah, he was the top and the bottom. What? I'm not reading that. I wouldn't be on a history podcast if I read.
You're not
Yeah,
on
so-
the history podcast.
Oh shit.
Yeah, wouldn't call this a history podcast.
Okay.
James Buchanan.
It is some.
James
Don't give us a head start. Get out of here. This is getting cut.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, I'm saying.
so
gay
you
first.
you posit your position on we will have a
I-
first gay president, and
Yeah,
then I will go.
I think American society can stomach that before they would be willing to stomach it. I think you have too many middle of the road people who don't agree with the separation of church and state.
I was going to say middle of the road. Are we talking bisexuals or
Shut up. Yeah, that's just where they have sex, is in the middle of the road.
in the
It's
middle?
very
in the
dangerous.
middle-
It's very dangerous.
My house is in the middle of the street. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Nope, not.
I'll
Wow,
see
that's a
myself out.
callback.
I'll see myself.
You are
out.
too young to know that song.
Yeah.
I'm too young to know that song.
I have
I'm
parents.
35.
I have
That's
parents who
true.
know that song.
Right. Not gay parents either.
Not gay parents, believe it or
By
not.
virtue of you being
I was born to straight people.
Or atheist.
Well, potentially, I don't know.
That's true, but it's just a fetish.
Again, maybe it's yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think your reasons are? I want to ask you while you're drinking water and just put you on the spot to. Oh yeah,
Oh,
no, I
for
can
my-
hear it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'll
so
go
why
right
do
into the mic.
you think we're gonna have? Do you even think non-religious is fair? Or
I
do you think
think
straight
no,
denial
I
of
think
God existence?
Yeah, I
is
think
okay?
both are very fair, and I think both before we have gay people because it's
A
been
gay people?
before we have gay people.
Literally one.
a gay
Ever.
person
Just existing.
in the Oval Office as president of the United States,
Okay,
obviously,
good,
right?
Good specif- of, yeah, of America. Yep.
Yeah, right. Because there's I don't know about Oval Offices in other
In other
countries.
countries.
Yeah. Anyways, because I think for a long time in society, it's been more acceptable to be an atheist than to be a gay person.
No. There. Thanks. That concludes it. No.
A lot of founding fathers were not outwardly atheist, but if you actually read what they had to say,
Oh yeah.
especially in like the Federalist Papers, right? Some
Haven't
of these,
read. Great read.
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these men are like, God probably exists, maybe, I don't know, right?
No,
and
I,
it's like,
I recognize they had to be like coy about it, lest
Yeah.
they be hung.
Right. well, you know,
If they were hung, it would probably help with my gay argument.
yeah, right. There you go. There you go.
No, I'm familiar with
I don't know women like
Tom-
large
atheists.
atheists too.
No, I think Jefferson said like, he said a lot. Now I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Sound like one because we're on
Yeah.
the podcast. No, nope, we're cutting that one.
Yeah.
The lightning rods on top of churches show lack of faith, and he had a lot of just edgy quotes similar to that.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm-
did a lot of edgy things too. Old TJ.
like what?
Like raping one of his slaves.
That wasn't even edgy then, though. That was pretty normal.
edgy. I think that was
I
still
think,
that
you
was
think,
still
do
outwardly
you think
edgy.
that was edgy?
I think
No.
Even by a
you think if
late
you brought it up into
18th.
So you think if you were at a ball and you were telling your bros as you're playing darts, and someone was regaling the time when you were riding horses, massacring Native Americans.
So I'm wearing powdered wig and
Sure, as you do.
a blouse.
Not edgy. No, I think if you were in high society and you're like, so there I was slaying Native Americans for the atrocity of existing in Oklahoma, and then you're like,
they moved them to Oklahoma.
oh, they massacred them there too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, probably.
You think they left them alone?
Oh yeah,
That's just where they honchoed them to.
they kept.
How dare you?
This is terrible.
But do you think if they're like, so what did you do this weekend? And then you're like,
Well,
I
you know,
went
one
to-
of my slaves was getting a little rowdy, and I
I just-
decided to. Yeah, I don't. I think that's still pretty edgy. I think.
you think they were like,
I don't think he
they-
was very proud of it.
You think they went to the fainting couch?
The fainting couch, is that a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Where people would go to
Like
faint?
very Victorian. You're like, oh my word, and then you put your hand on your head. And
This was like 100 years before Victoria.
like the game.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. Great game. Horrible time period.
Why was that horrible?
Well, I like it for like the history aspect, but
Is it because you could
it's where
assault slaves and had a fainting couch?
no, it's where like artificial sugar comes from.
Yeah, but we still have that. This is a good timeline. So, yeah, I'm still pretty on team. You're not gonna get.
So you think we get a gay religious person before we get a
Yeah,
gay,
yeah,
or
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
straight
yeah.
atheist?
Oh, 100%. Like we have Buttigieg right now.
Right.
Oh, my bad. This is post January 20th, our favorite last election.
Yeah. Right.
And I think you have to claim you're religious. I think because a lot of people can understand. I think if you are religious, they can say, "Oh, it's just a moral fault that they're gay." That's a common perception. They're thinking, "Oh, it's not a choice. God made them that way, and I love them." If they're the quote unquote like liberal religious, or if they're not, they're just going to say, "Oh, that's just a choice that they're not choosing to have, but it's a sin." And they'll get over it. But as long as they believe in God, then they'll atone and they'll be a moral person because they believe. That's just one of their sins, and who among us hasn't?
Yeah. Okay.
But if you're,
But
if you're non-religious, I think stop scratching.
Can you hear that?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
In
We're gonna
high
cut that
def,
out. We're gonna cut that out.
I think if you are not religious, then
He looked at me as I scratched away from the mic.
yeah, no.
So I stroked my.
What am I reading? Log cabin Republicans, no atheist Republicans. That's true. I think there are plenty of atheist Republicans. I don't think a second, and since he's no longer in politics, like Matt Gaetz is actually religious. And I think he would have been a trash person had he been religious in the same way I think Mitch McConnell is a trash person despite probably being religious. And like, I don't think that has any real impact on your ability to govern. Just as I don't think
Being gay has an impact on your ability to govern. Yeah, I don't.
I see what you did.
Yeah, I don't think being gay has an impact on somebody's ability to govern.
Is that based on your experience governing and being gay?
No, I. As a straight white man, I think
who a theist?
A deist rather.
They're the same.
They're not the same. One is the other, but the other is not one.
Yeah, D's worth more points than Scrabble. Other than that,
Yeah,
they're worth
is it worth more points than
I
TH?
think-
TH is a banger in Scrabble, I think.
Oh no, TH is worth more because an H is worth 4.
H is worth 4. T
T
is 1.
D is 2, I believe. It's one of the
D
only
is 2 or
D is 2.
Okay, I believe you. I don't not believe you enough to fact check you, so I believe you.
That's actually how I've made it through a lot of my life is absolute confidence.
Yeah, you did say that with such confidence.
Right. No,
D is worth 2.
I know about half or about a fourth of my listenership is probably going to be my own dad, and he will absolutely fact check it. Or I could Google it, but I'd rather not because I want to keep him employed with this.
Yeah, I do want your dad and my dad to like have a text chain back and forth of like, your son
is a real piece of shit.
Your son said D is worth 2, but actually it's worth 3. Haha.
Got him.
No, that would be horrible. That would be horrible. Those two men in the same room. That would.
No, we're barely okay.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't think we could stomach it. I think moderates. I think moderates are tend to still. I mean, admit that republicanism will be religious. That's just a fundamental core value. And I think liberalism tends to and will continue leading away from religiosity. And that's not necessarily a judgment call. That's just a statement of fact. I don't know.
Well, I think that's also a false comparison though, because not all Republicans are conservative. Not all Democrats are liberal.
And I'm using these words interchangeably because
with
I don't
Republican conservative Democrat liberal. Okay.
No, like I consider myself
that is an important distinction to make.
Sure.
I think.
No, like Gabriel considers himself a leftist, but I don't support the DNC. Right. Like you cannot. I think it's, and this is going to be a separate topic. I think it's more challenging to separate the current administration from republicanism or conservatism because those are so much more intertwined
as opposed to like
the Democrats don't really have a person right now being in early 2025. Looking forward to them figuring that out again. Maybe we'll see we got options. We'll see if they're good.
No, I definitely think we will most likely probably see an atheist in the White House before a gay person. And again, I do think societally, and this is the same point I made before. Mm-hmm. Societally, it has been more acceptable to be an atheist than to be a gay person.
Sure, in society, though, not necessarily in the policy perspective, though. I think when that comes up, because you're controlling tax credits for religious-based institutions, you're controlling should we feed certain people, you're going to have a certain major sect of people who don't believe you can live a moral life. And I don't think you could ever have their mind change. It doesn't matter if their policies aligned. It doesn't matter if they're straight. It doesn't matter what their skin color. Well, that's not fair. It probably would matter to them what their skin color is. But realistically, we saw that for Obama, where they accused him of being Muslim over and over and over again. And there's so many.
But that was a different time in this country's history. We were still involved directly in conflict with.
You think we've clearly moved on? We're still involved.
I don't think so, but I actually think people would be more accepting of an atheist president than an Arab Muslim president.
100%. No, 100%. Yeah. No,
So I don't know that Obama being accused of being Muslim is necessarily.
But they accused him of that as an attack. They used non-Christianness as an attack. They didn't attack his. They didn't necessarily attack his masculinity or his straightness, and they probably could have attacked a lot of presidents. They could have attacked Al Gore for his straightness because he had some effeminate features in just like speaking pattern and stuff like that. Nope. Sure, they do
still call Obama a gay man.
They called him Michael.
Right.
They called Michelle Michael.
Fine. Yeah. No, just because Michelle has awesome triceps. But
I think we know that Obama might have been the first sub-president, potentially.
I've seen that man sink threes.
Yeah, that is true.
Not in person. I was not invited.
No, yeah,
not after the incident. No,
definitely on camera.
Yeah.
After the incident, what is the incident?
So, we can't talk about it. It's the incident. Yeah.
You signed it.
I dunked on him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Again.
When you dunked on Obama. Yeah. So you've never seen him sink threes in person because he's actually incapable of it. It's AI, generative AI that is showing us.
Right.
Obama.
He was sinking them in Kenya.
In Kenya.
No, I definitely agree that
in Arab country.
God, I hope we're recording. Okay.
Yeah.
No. No, I definitely think that they attacked the religiosity. I'm making the gay point. Okay, yeah. They definitely attacked his religiosity over and over again. They emphasized the non-American, traditional Americanness of his name, the otherness. They didn't really care about. They intentionally ignored the healthy marriage, and they're like, they're going to keep parading out. Not to like demonize.
But you don't think if there was an unmarried person attempting to become president of the United States, that person would be attacked for?
Sure. No, they would be attacked.
Potentially being gay.
So, I mean, you have the current president who's been divorced multiple times,
right.
And it's like, well, maybe they don't like women if you're willing to divorce them a few times.
Maybe he likes women too much if he's been married to multiple women, right? One after another, right?
So he's just straight as an arrow. I don't know.
He's just so straight. He has to.
Can't commit. Sure. Yep. Nope. Also, yep. Legalese, we will follow all legal orders and follow the Constitution.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Ooh, looking forward to that.
I'm trying not to talk too much about real life people.
No, because we're just excited about it.
Real life people who
we're talking about imaginary,
living,
imaginary
breathing. And we just went on an Obama rant for 10 minutes.
Yeah. No. No, I don't think they would get the votes. I really don't if they were non-religious. I think if they could not say God is not real. They would first have to cloak it in agnosticism, which is just a common
They would have to say
defense.
I'm not religious. Whereas I think a gay person could say probably I am gay.
I don't love women romantically. This is the equivalent.
And everybody like stops and stares for a second and is like
trying to figure out. Yeah.
Do you think Xi Jinping is
really? Let's go.
Is either non-religious and or gay? Do you think it would be easier for a gay person to be elected in the U.S. or China?
The U.S. Because nobody's elected in China.
Fair. No, they do democratic elections. It's just there's one party and it's deciding.
I shouldn't tap that. That's loud. That was me. It's not the door. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah,
we're just we're figuring this out.
Yeah.
We're building a plane as we fly it. God, I hate that. I know. I hate that expression.
Yeah, building a plane as we fly.
I hate it again.
United States Air Force.
That's actually Boeing's new expression, is building a plane as we fly it. It's not going well.
Breaking down a plane as we fly it.
Yeah. Why is flying quotes?
Auguring into the ground.
Why is the word flying quotes with Boeing? I'd rather it be land.
Why is building in quotes?
Oh no.
We're riveted to show off this new.
Really, with the rivet humor. We
Riveted,
just lost
yeah.
our half viewer, listener, not viewer. We're both very attractive. I hope we have viewers. No, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Boeing, for not suing us. I'm sure they make great
Aircraft.
I'm thinking about what they make. Great presidents.
Great presidents?
Yeah. Not like precedent. No, like presidents.
Precedent?
Yeah, they have a CEO.
President?
President, like the thing.
I don't think this is a very good precedent for Boeing.
Okay,
right now.
we're this is all cut.
Yeah.
Which is what they said about their safety record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could have gay presidents in South American countries. I think you could have atheist presidents. I give those like equal chance, especially European, where religiosity is decreasing, and I think more liberal Western viewpoints allow for more less family. What's a good fucking euphemism? Like family, typical expectations. Gay people to do stuff. I don't have the good.
Do you think it'd be more so like
My Kinsey
it's not
scale is
seen-
my Kinsey number is 2-1 to come up with a good description of this. Is it more seen of?
Do you think it's an issue of we need to see, or we need a president who is like traditionally manly? Is the thing?
Sure,
Because-
and I have an issue with that too, because I think you can be both atheist and masculine, and I think
gay and masculine.
gay
Yeah,
and
I
masculine.
think we both agree on that.
And I don't even know if masculine qualities are necessary to run a country, like other.
No,
like,
yeah, of course not.
but
Right?
I think strength, decisiveness, necessity of violence, the other qualities that we seem to value in presidents. No,
willingness to be violent, I think.
sure.
And
Yeah,
I agree, but
Right.
I do think that is something that that the American people will look at, and I think being gay is seen as more effeminate than it is seen as masculine, whereas I think atheist
that's 100% true.
is more so neutral, right? And so if
Sure.
American people are looking for a more masculine figure to lead the country, to be, the leader of the free world and whatnot, and all the buzzwords, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be more easy to find that out of somebody who is atheist than somebody who's gay. And I think that is why the American people would be more
I
willing
think
to
you're
accept.
I think you're right on it with the masculine part, but I think people are also looking for morals, and that morality ties in. Some of the morality for traditional values is men should be what their idea of masculine is. They're going to jerk
a
off
lot
the
of
rainbow.
ideas for moral values are men should only have relations with women, right?
Right. And that
There's a
comes
lot of
from-
people who
But that comes from that's my point, is that coming from a religious background. I don't think they're atheists. Like, think about there's one atheist out there who got fucking concussed. I don't know if that's Fetterman right now since he had a stroke. Who's atheist and actually, I just can't imagine what non-religious conversation goes on where they're like, yeah, gay people should exist. To be fair, I guess Hitler was kind of up there. If we're willing to go back 80 or 90
So you think
years.
there's
But
no
in the modern values, I don't think you can be Western-leaning values, non-religious, and not tolerate a gay person having power. Because
right. A lot of our Western values, I think, evolved from a lot of revolutionary French rather, opinions and beliefs, and I think egalitarianism was a very important thing there, right? The idea that everybody is and should be treated the same way, just based on the fact that they are humans and not.
Ooh, yeah,
that they
we kind of nodded our head while not listening. Kind of like, yeah, I'll do the dishes later when they were giving us those values. And then they're like, didn't the French tell us something about us all being equal?
And then the French
we
were like, we don't like this. We're going to restore the monarchy real quick.
oh no, I meant when we were like doing the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
Constitution,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we were like all like, did they? Do
Well,
you
the
think,
Constitution was before the Revolution.
Sure.
French
Yeah,
Revolution.
yeah. Well, like I give a shit.
But
The French
we
Revolution.
still had all
No,
men should be created equal.
Sure. No, I'm wondering.
All men are created equal, not should be rather.
Except those men.
Except, yeah. Wait, what about those guys? There's like a lot.
It's like, what did the founding fathers mean by this? They meant all men, obviously. Okay, yeah, but what does that mean? It's like all men. Okay, what do you mean? All men.
Right.
They were also like,
So-
and a lot of their early writings were
Yeah,
very unwilling to define what that meant because I think a lot
Sure.
of them knew.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to try to stay away from modern politics for obvious reasons.
This is hard to talk about
But
when
we're
we're
still
talking about.
sure. But we're still having problems defining what men and women are because the U.S. government just tried to define it within the last 48 hours, and they fucked up by mentioning the large cell and the small cell at. Did they use the word insemination or copulation?
Conception.
At conception,
Which is dumb.
which isn't like biologically accurate because we all kind of start from like the large
We
cell.
both start,
So
as like an
technically,
X,
right? So
and
technically,
then we
100%
get
of like we're
another
both
X
women
or
right
Y.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Good job.
are we?
Yeah, no, per like current executive order policy, we are. So sweet.
Oh,
So I gotta figure out what new parts I
Can't
have.
wait to go into
Congratulations
the-
on your new vagina.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to explore myself.
Yeah, I
so-
do feel. It is weird that I immediately started getting paid about a tenth less.
Yeah, I didn't think that was strange. Like,
Right.
why did they do that?
No.
Another club.
This next paycheck is going to be really weird. That'd be crazy if in the military women made less than men. That would be
That's coming
crazy.
up. Yeah, the
That'll be the next.
Dred Scott of our time.
Yeah.
He was
It's
the
like,
no.
why is this-
Was he the?
Then sergeants really would make less than airmen.
Oh shit. That's a deep cut for our non-military
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah.
No, what was the case for? Was it Dred Scott for a vote was 4/5? Oh, you're
3/5.
3/5.
Yes.
Was that Dred Scott?
I don't think it was.
No.
That might have been Dred Scott.
Sick.
No.
Damn it.
That
Don't
was the
take that from
3/5.
me.
That was the compromise that they made when like they
Was
started.
there
They
a
were
name for
counting
it, or did they just
how
call
many
it?
representatives
They
each
just
state
didn't-
was allowed to get.
Yeah. Because
Dred Scott was slaves in the North could be
emancipated.
no.
Okay,
Had to
I'll let
be
you answer
chased
it.
down and brought back to the
That's
South.
a yikes.
Their owners.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
yeah,
they were counted as property, as opposed to these are individual human beings. But then the South, when
Yeah.
it was convenient, was like, no, we should count these human beings because
Right.
we need more representation in the
I
government.
wonder if
A lot of hypocrisy.
if
there.
that didn't change and if
we
slaves,
can both agree that there's like the South was not like the not the South. I'm from the South. The Confederacy as an institution was
Yeah.
exclusively founded on the idea that slaves should be owned,
people
or rather,
should be owned to be
people-
used as economic devices instead of having
almost
autonomy. Yeah.
how like a lot of our technocrats today would like
Jesus.
to identify.
How dare wait. You know what? I'll
Would
let
like
you
to
cook.
ident-
I'll let you cook.
A lot of our technocrats today would like
Mm-hmm.
to identify people not as individuals but as economic units.
Yeah,
Looking
but
at
we
you, Vivek.
we
We can cut that out.
no, but we can. Well, he's no longer part of Doge. The difference is we consent to that, and we also get value out of that, though. I don't mean hey, we
We
signed.
consent to it from like companies.
Sure, but we also get value from that, right? I do not have to. I did not have to buy this microphone. I do not have to use electricity. I do not have to participate in the majority of society, especially to benefit somebody else, and I have protections for that.
But you shouldn't have to like be forced or force yourself
To-
rather to be boiled down to just like a person with purchasing power to be a human or to
But that's
live.
capitalism.
Right, and we can get into that as well.
Oh, can we? No, we will, because we are a free market society.
Where freedom of expression is appreciated.
Yeah, and I mean, despite my liberalism, like I'm living in a place where I have purchasing power, and I fully expect Amazon to look at me as a person who can possibly buy things from them, like the microphones I'm using.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Our second sponsor after
Yeah,
Boeing
right, is Amazon.
Not even Amazon, specifically Jeff Bezos,
yeah.
who just gave $100 million to Eva Longoria. Yeah.
Who's
I know. An actress.
Why do you do that?
Probably wants to fuck her. Yep. Anyway,
Yeah.
yep.
I need to see a picture of Jeff. Not see how he's doing nowadays.
He got pretty yoked.
Is he?
got-
Yeah,
he
that's
got-
right.
he
I
got
heard
big.
about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he got big.
Yeah. Never trade blows
What?
with Jazzy Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I thought you meant like cocaine blows.
No.
No.
Did not. Absolutely.
So,
Zero experience in that regard.
sorry.
To my supervisor
Yeah,
listening to this.
Jeff Bezos,
Jeff
supervisor.
Bezos.
No, despite being liberal as shit, I recognize, and I have no problem with being. This is my take. I don't have a problem with them seeing me as a potential buyer of goods and being monetized like that, because I consent to that and I'm getting value out of that. That's, yeah, like, if you're, thank you, Dad. If you're getting a service and you're not paying for anything, then you're the product, right?
Right.
So
Sorry
like
about that. I was having
that's
mic
fine.
issues.
What's wrong with Mike? So if you're Googling something, right, you don't have to pay for anything, but they're going to get your data, metadata.
Yeah.
You've probably consented to a bunch of shit. They're going to see the interesting, wacky things you do, and they can probably see, how long your your cursor's on certain places, and they're selling that data, right? They're packaging it.
Yeah.
I
Not
don't-
even that. Like, I think there's been videos of like people like where it will pick up like specific keywords that you say into like the microphone.
I have no expectation of privacy, and I sell that for
But you
convenience.
should have expectation of privacy.
Why?
I think, why wouldn't you? This is like,
Because I signed that away. It's transactional. I have an expectation of
didn't
privacy from the government.
you didn't sign anything to use Google.
I bet you do when you sign for an ISP, internet service provider, right?
That they're like, yeah, Google's going to collect
I
your
think it's-
information, and then that's
Yeah,
going to be.
yeah. The guy at Verizon breathed right in my face and told me that.
So like an Amazon Alexa, right?
Oh yeah,
That like, are you? Yeah, that's you signing away your expectation of privacy for the convenience of shouting at a
a box.
hockey puck.
Yeah.
To add stuff to your Amazon cart.
Well, I've been shouting at all these other non-sentient hockey pucks.
Have you seen
and
those videos of like those 3-year-olds like ordering stuff on Amazon?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right, but they
That's
also
crazy.
but they faced like Amazon was sued for that because there was no controls over that, because they showed like a kid just buying knives like pepper spray, like sick.
It's like, what does he need? Not only like, why does he need this, but like, why isn't the kid buying himself diapers? Come on, you gotta pick it up. Come on, you gotta get on the. If you're gonna buy stuff on Amazon,
We're just gonna rob people with the knives.
Yeah, well, yeah, for diaper money.
Yeah,
Gay presidents.
Yes,
Yeah,
gay or atheist presidents. Yes, thank you,
please.
editor.
Yeah, I think
I hate
think
this.
it'll
I hate
happen
this because I do genuinely think you're right. I do think we will see a gay
Sick.
person before an atheist
I
person,
picked
but I
right.
have to like
Yeah.
stand on my position of we will see
Should
an
we just switch
atheist.
sides? No, okay.
Oh, that would be funny actually if we like. I just make the exact same arguments.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say now? Oh, the gay presidents?
Yeah.
I've always believed it. I'm going to take a Republican one and just absolutely flip-flop on it.
I believe in gay people's ability to be elected president of the United States.
Their ability. No, I think the Democrats have shown consistently of their ability to take dick. They just...
Yeah.
But also be dick.
Will we see an atheist
I just
Republican
meant
president?
losing.
Or- right,
Being
right,
gay
right,
is not
right, right,
losing.
right.
I fully support my LGBTQ+.
Yeah,
Don't want to
100%.
lose my third sponsor,
Yeah.
Lockheed.
Yeah, Lockheed. Oh, I was gonna.
Well, they make thick missiles.
Yeah, just wait till we talk about Israel. I think we AI pack. I'm really down with the
I don't know
American
it.
Israeli.
Oh. Yeah, they're kind of all over because they were like,
Both campaigns.
yeah. And I'm kind of Jewish, so I get to say this.
You're Jewish.
Right. No, I can Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu with their best of them.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for too much
Yeah.
more.
You're gonna have
Charged
to
by the
you're gonna have to
sentence.
be the one that talks about Israel. I can't. I'm not allowed to comment.
Oh, we're just gonna cut your mic so anything I say.
Yeah. I'm not.
No, yeah, because if you don't like it, then you're anti-Semitic. So
Yeah,
I get to
exactly. And
just
so I'm
play
not
that
allowed
one.
to. Yeah.
No
Because somebody's gonna hear it and be like, "Oh, I think that."
Oh,
Reid
there he is.
actually-
Nope, he's making an anti-Jewish voice. Everybody, you heard it.
What was that?
Your voice was.
Well, I don't think that he should. Okay.
Okay, this
we
is
gotta
why.
cut that.
Yeah.
No, you have to do your Jewish.
Oh, I have to do mine. I do a really good one. Though.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I do.
It's
It's in your
You haven't heard
genetics.
it? Yeah. Oh, we're hunting people down for that now.
Oh, what are we doing? Oh my gosh.
So,
Send them back to Israel? Is that what we're...
So
Send them forward to Israel?
east.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're in Hawaii, I don't know if it's closer.
Yeah, is it what
Or
it be?
Guam. Guam definitely west.
Well, I mean, either way, you could...
we
I'm
don't,
sure
we're
we
not
go
a
forward.
we are not a swimming people.
No. Are-
That's why they had a.
Am I going to get in trouble
that's why
for
they
agreeing
split
with
the
you?
sea. What, that we don't swim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, like
okay.
we're dark. We get.
I'm sure Jewish people can swim.
Yeah, I've taken you to the ocean.
I've pushed a couple in pools. Only a very limited number.
like being wet. Okay.
How many of these? You started off with I'm gonna take the high road. I'm not gonna do a voice. I'm gonna let Gabriel do it.
No, then you egged me
and
on.
then you
and I had to do a
immediately.
voice.
Oh yeah, you're right. You were forced into doing the Jewish.
Forced. You held me at gunpoint. I saw you pulled up a firearm.
I shook you down for every
pointed it at me,
shekel.
and then I had to.
Yeah. Let's honestly, we do need. I'm all for better representation in terms of. I think we do need more Muslims to represent Muslim constituents, not by virtue of them being Muslim and saying that's their sole qualification, but if we have a few million Muslim people and they have no representation, I don't think that that's fair. And considering,
But you can represent a group of people without being a member of that group of people. There's people in Congress right now who are representing or attempting to represent their LGBTQ plus constituents who are not.
No,
in that community.
and just as I do wholly consider myself an ally to that community, I know that I can't accurately represent or defend them as well as somebody who has had those lived experiences.
Yeah.
In the same way that I support a Muslim running for office should they be qualified and go through it legally and get the proper number of votes and all that and do it the right way, I'm fully for them doing office because specifically they are representing a group that is not well represented. And because like non-religious people, and I'm going to make up a statistic that you won't be able to call me out on, it's about a third of the U.S., maybe more. And
non-religious people?
Non-religious, yeah. I won't necessarily say atheist of like, boo, fuck God. That's how I wake up every morning.
I think the majority is still Christian.
Sure.
Or some
hence
denomination.
66%
Yeah,
is still going to lean towards
some religion.
Some sort of Jesus flavor. Yeah.
France, actually, I think, in the Western world has the lowest amount of people identifying as religious.
Yeah. No, they've been around longer, but they also just have a higher tolerance.
Our democracy's been around longer than... France is on like their third attempt at a republic right now.
Yeah, but we're like a republic.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Europe,
And we don't know
for
enough
whatever
civics
reason,
to disagree with it.
Europe kind of passed us in the whole... And it might be by virtue of like parliamentarian systems.
I was going to say, hey, Germany's been a democracy for a long time. And then you kind of... No, we ignore...
They've been a democracy since the 90s.
They've
been...
Well,
one unified democracy.
Did they democratically elect... Can you democratically elect a fascist?
Yes.
Look what we just did.
Nope, I can't say that. Nope, I will follow all laws and orders per the Constitution. Yep. She's not part of the podcast. Ignore that.
We're gonna cut her out.
We're cutting her out. Just like the current policies will.
God. No reenlistment for you. You talked bad about him.
Yeah, no. I think you can. I don't know if you can. Ooh, like, is it like voluntary suicide? Like, can you democratically elect
somebody to
to remove your rights? Like,
so,
like was Germany what we would consider a democracy?
So this marks a historic moment for me because this is the first time I'm going to be talking about Rome on this podcast.
Oh my God!
And we'll be doing this a lot. The Romans had a system. So the Romans had the
aqueducts.
Had the idea of a dictator, completely different from our idea of like what a dictator is.
Okay.
Right. They elected all the people into their Senate, right? Whatever. Not all the senators were elected, but most of the senators were elected to serve as that term. I mean, like you still sat on the Senate even if you didn't get elected for another term, whatever.
It's cool that Mitch McConnell was actually still there.
Yeah, he's
one of the first Roman senators.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Kentucky is.
Kentucky is. Sure. So when the Senate passed the Senatus Consultum Ultimum,
that's from Warhammer 40K, right?
Which is broken down better in English as the final act, it empowered the two sitting consuls to do anything that they needed to do extra legally in order to like stop a crisis that was ongoing in the Republic.
Sure. Like a extrajudicial emergency power.
Right. Okay. Exactly. And taking that further, they would even appoint a person as dictator to serve as a term of 6 months to be potentially renewed to solve a crisis if the two sitting consuls were not willing or able to accept the power from the final act.
Oh, like the emergency exit doors.
Right. So that's actually where we get the term dictator is from that.
Well, to dictate, I'm imagining
to dictate, right?
Latin.
They are to dictate, to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
Right, to fix an issue that's going on. Now, there's nothing like that, I don't think, in the Western world today. I guess, martial law would be.
Oh, are you talking about like You're talking about like how Korea just attempted theirs?
Yeah, but like martial law is when you empower the military to
Sure.
carry out or to execute stuff from the execute
Executive
orders
branch.
from the executive branch.
I think martial law has greater implications. So,
But a dictator could impose martial law back in.
yes. Oh, I think a president like
Can impose martial law.
could impose martial law.
So you're almost empowering that person with dictatorial abilities,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's seen as like really bad in modern society
I think-
to utilize them. But whereas a
Yeah, yeah,
dictator
yeah.
would utilize them and then
As
immediately retire
routine-
from politics permanently.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds lovely.
On average,
That sounds
they would go
nice.
to Mustang and Ice Cream Land.
Right. That's
Which-
that's what my co-host affectionately refers to where Biden retires.
Yes.
Mustang and ice cream.
Mustang and Ice Cream Land.
No, I
Which good for him. I love that. If I was 80 years old, I would not want to stick around in Washington.
mean most people in their 30s don't want to stick around at Washington.
That's very
I
true.
like it. I don't know why I'm making that joke. No, as a very liberal person, I would be the first to be willing to call out certain political members for having fascist ideals, and I don't. There's tendencies that I think trend
Are
towards
you saying
there.
that liberal is capital L liberal or like left-leaning American?
Left-leaning
liberal?
leftist.
Yeah.
Leftist. Yeah. I again do not represent the DNC, and I have my own issues with them, starting with ousting Bernie, and I'll just say the method in which our last one went. So-
I don't think just because I'm more socially conservative that means I am trying to
Nope.
represent the views
Nope,
of
you're
the
a fascist.
GOP.
Hey.
Right, exactly. Right.
No, I get it. I don't. I'm in a much more admirable position where I'm confidently in a camp, and I don't have to defend it. I just can say,
No, it's
yeah,
the worst.
like
It's the worst.
Yeah, no, I'm a pretty big fucking liberal. I'm just on the left.
Yeah.
I'm a leftist, and that's like, hey, here's my ideals, and I can describe them, and I only have to worry about one team hating me.
No.
There's no like a centrist reasonably is going to agree with me, and then everyone else is too far to the right because I'm just like, oh, you're unethical. And I think that problem probably happens if you're too far to the right, then everybody else is too far to the left in their opinion.
Yeah.
But if you're a centrist, you're just getting pulled of, hey, you idiot, why can't you just commit?
Yeah.
It's the Abe Lincoln bisexuality of
Right.
politics.
Hey, callback.
Yeah,
So,
no, from our earlier
Mary
from
Todd.
from our first episode.
Mary Todd. Why would she? Why would she have?
Why was she a tyrant?
Well, what? No. Why would Mary Todd Lincoln a tyrant? Why did she have a male's name as her middle name if she?
Wasn't bi.
No, if she was a woman.
Wow.
That was her maiden last name.
Oh, was it her maiden last name was Todd? What an awful name.
Yeah.
The Todd family, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, we just lost our Todd
Todd
viewership.
viewer.
The whole our marketing is gonna have to really reach out to the Todds.
Yeah. No,
Um,
our marketing team.
Do you think they called her like a hot toddy?
Oh yeah, hot toddy's actually it's a great drink.
Yeah.
It's a great. I don't know if you had
Mhm,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
have
made those for you.
Yeah.
I have tea and liquor. It's a hot toddy, right? It's
Other
like
stuff
It's
in there.
yeah,
just
honey,
There's
lemon.
in there.
lemon.
honey.
Oh, I'm uncultured.
Yeah,
Mm.
hot toddy's
Sugar
delicious.
cube.
We can take care of that.
Just as I'm sure Mary Todd Lincoln was delicious.
She was not.
She was not. She was not delicious. She
if
was a
Abe-
librarian.
Do you think Abe Lincoln, if he went down on her, he's like, I'm gonna conquer the South?
Um,
Oh, she's not attractive.
do you think they called it?
God, that's why we went to
Let me
war.
see.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
She
my. Abe
born
was
into a slave-owning family in Kentucky.
tapping that.
And she was
No wonder he was
crazy.
depressed.
She was banana boat crazy.
She was crazy?
She kept trying to touch his hand. He was like, somebody needs to shoot me in the head during this fucking play.
She was like, I can't. He was like, I can barely keep my marriage together. How am I going to keep the union together?
She was like, dude, I'm right here.
He pumped kids into her.
He did pump little
How many
babes.
kids do they have?
3, I think.
3 kids, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could bring myself to have.
They
one
better
kid
have been
without one.
triplets.
Yeah.
Robert, Edward, Willie, and Tad.
Robert Edward.
Robert,
Edward.
Willie, and Tad.
That's 4.
Was he a big fan of Southern
Boys.
generals at the time because of Robert Edward Lee, and he started naming his sons after them?
It was pretty awkward.
They probably honestly didn't exist. Like when he
During-
knew about the generals.
He died like
Yeah, but it's not like the kids were 1 during the Civil War. Probably.
how old were they?
I don't know, but he probably wasn't dealing with the Civil War and being like, I need to tap Mary
Robert
Todd.
Lee was a general for a long time.
Okay.
I think he was involved vaguely in the War of Spanish aggression. Sorry, the War of Mexican aggression. The Mexican-American War.
Right. I don't know how involved Spain was in that. I think
No,
they
no,
just
no,
speak
yeah.
Spanish, so you're like, they're all the same.
Well, no. You're right. No, you're right. The Blame the Man on Spain, 1899 was the Spanish-American War. You're right. Fair.
Was there a saying you just had?
Yeah.
Well, blame
That's
the
Maine.
oh,
USS
the US
Maine?
that we probably sank, right?
That we
It was one of those.
potentially scuttled on purpose.
Oh, scuttled's a hot euphemism for. We definitely killed a bunch of our
Because
Yeah.
we wanted Spain to divest, you like that, from the
people. I
Caribbean.
didn't say anything. Yeah. Do you think we should continue like having a positive relationship with Cuba, or have a relationship?
We
with
should
Cuba?
have a positive. We should have some sort of relationship with
Okay,
Cuba.
because we just put
They
them
should
back
be
on
one of
the-
our biggest trading partners.
Yeah, you'd think. Well, we should maintain.
We should like
enough.
buy for pennies on the dollar, like wheat and whatnot to make
We
bread
should be
here.
trading with them.
And then like
Export shit we
stop
don't need.
maintain exactly.
Yeah.
Stop trying to maintain all of our farmland in the
51st
Midwest.
state.
And I know that does sound crazy because a
Whoa.
lot of
That's a
right,
take.
yeah. But I think some of it we could potentially like preserve the soil for longer if we just started buying
Oh,
a
you
shit ton
wanna-
of wheat from Cuba.
Wait, invade,
Same thing we did-
invade
no, no,
Cuba,
no.
let Kansas go fallow for like 2 years.
The same thing we did or attempted to do in the Middle East.
Nope, this is a good leftist fault. I thought you just wanted to have a nice relationship.
No,
and you're
no.
like, we should force them to trade wheat so we can burn down Kansas.
No. We shouldn't burn down Kansas. We should just attempt to preserve the soil there.
That sounds like a euphemism for
Attempt to preserve the soil, right? Because you damage soil over time by over farming it.
I think the
And
farmers
then if
have it figured out.
Do they?
I don't know. I'll be on
Pretty good.
I'll be on Team Farmer on this one, and this is my take. Usually I'm the Silicon Valley latte guy.
But it would be so much cheaper to slap Cuba
Imports?
with
What?
a lot of imports.
Yeah, tariffs are going to work. Let's see that.
Import a shit ton of wheat from Cuba. There's so
I don't
much.
think they produce it there. I
There's
think,
so much good farmland in Cuba.
yeah, and they use it for sugar. It's just
Well, then-
because it's good farmland doesn't mean you can farm everything there.
Let's import sugar and stop using artificial sweeteners.
Okay, you got to play Manor Lords, and you're going to see that there's or Tropico, and you're going to see that different fields have different types that have different yields. Right. So you gotta. What you have to do is go
Listen,
into your
I've
farming
played.
indicator.
I've
and you
played
have to see-
CK3 after the end, and I've looked at the terrain map mode,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Cuba
yeah.
has a lot of really good farmland.
Okay. Do
So-
they know that?
Do they know that? I don't know. I'm not a Cuban.
All right. All they have there are cigars and missiles.
Yeah,
S-
and the
SATs.
cigars nowadays. Our mutual Cuban friend tells me the cigars nowadays are actually really shitty.
And maybe he's just being pretentious, or maybe he wants to hog them all.
No, yeah, he's talking about. No, it's like because the Cubans found out, I guess, that we're all like, oh, Cuban cigars are really good, and then all the Cubans were like, how about we start cutting it with like really shitty tobacco?
Maybe this is you trying to just get in on all that good farmland, and that's where you're like, nope, it's trash. Don't use it. It's not even there.
Listen, I would advocate for Virginia tobacco much sooner than I would advocate for Cuban tobacco.
That's your pro Virginia.
That's
lobby.
that is my Virginians.
Did we want to have
Tobacco Virginians
our,
United.
Did we want to have our one goof conversation?
Yeah. What was the? I feel
There
like this was
was
the
the-
goof comp. Well, no, because we talked a little bit about
Talked
policy.
a lot
and,
about a lot.
yeah.
No, it was like which 18th century president would you want to bring to an amusement park, keeping the fact in mind
That
they're
gay
going to be
people-
racist as shit, and that there's gay people,
that gay and black people
and that
go
there's
to amusement parks.
electricity,
And women.
and there's
And
women
women without head covers.
have knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men in bikini.
Women
Oh my
in
gosh,
bikinis.
yeah, that
And
would.
Disneyland is
most
wild,
of them would
too.
tweak.
Tweak or twerk?
No,
Oh, I thought you meant the people.
not
in
the
bikinis
women.
would
Yeah,
twerk.
no.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they'd
might.
also probably tweak if they saw like an 19th century president.
Mary Todd just let it all hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that, dude.
So
Mary Todd. If you Google Mary Todd right now.
Yeah,
Mary
in a
Todd
bikini.
Lincoln. Don't
Use
don't Google
generative.
that.
Yeah,
Do not.
use the power of generative
Please.
AI.
Don't do
And
this to yourself.
when we have a comment page, I
Yeah.
want to see the best
Yeah.
Mary Todd. Just
Send
stacked.
us your best
Just-
ChatGPT Mary Todd Lincoln
Just
generated.
absolutely stacked. Just thigh gap.
Yeah.
Just making
Yeah.
the what's
Make-
the,
make me wanna-
what's the face where their eyes are together?
What?
Like
What do
the
you
streamer face?
Cyclops?
No, they're putting their eyes
The Ahayago? Is that what that is? The tongue out?
like the tongue of the blowjob face.
Yeah.
With their
Yeah.
eyes together. Yeah, just
Oh.
that's how he would have pumped a fifth in if he didn't get shot. He was ready that night.
He was probably doing the 19th century equivalent of
What do you think the 19th century equivalent was?
a little bit of ankle.
Yeah.
Just an ink job.
Can you imagine like a 19th century foot
That's why they
job
called
and
it
how
boning.
dirty that would be?
That's why they called it bonings. 'Cause
boning.
It's the ink job.
It's the bones. Oh man.
Okay, presidents. I'm staying on it. I took about a fourth of an Adderall like 9 hours ago, so I'm pretty focused.
In Minecraft for the DoD.
Yeah, sure. In
Sure,
Minecraft.
sure.
So,
I took like 500 milligrams of theanine when I got up today.
what drug is that?
That's like-
L-theanine.
L-theanine.
Oh, that's a legal one. You can get that at
Yeah,
GNC.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I just take a supplement, you know,
Hmm.
a pre-workout.
You should work out. So anyway,
Come in here and work out my brain. I take a lot of
When's that
pre-workout,
start?
but I do not. Yeah.
I'm just buzzed. Yeah, I'm itchy as fuck.
Bugs in my skin.
Presidents. So first question, centuries. I had a public school education. That's a lie. I went to private school. Again, kind of Jewish. 18th century, is that 1700?
18th century, 1700s.
Century is +1.
So 18th century
1800s.
is 1700 to 1799?
Yeah, because the first century
Fucking hate
was
this.
the first century
They should have
was
just taken the L
yeah.
for the rest
Right.
of us.
The first century was 0 to 99. We can't call
Yeah.
it the negative first. Or sorry, the first century was 0 to 99.
What do you call it before then?
You can't call it the 0th century.
But what do you call the
BC
That's Jesus'
Or-
time.
but what-
BCE.
Jesus time?
BCE.
Before Christ existed.
That can't
Before
be right.
Common Era,
Whatever.
but also before Christ existed.
1700s is 18th century.
Yes.
Okay,
Pick
so
president.
so 18th
So
century,
okay, so real
1700
quick,
to
real quick.
1799.
We're talking about years. Let's talk about the two schools of thought about the yearing system because both of them are based on
The sun.
right the just no sorry just like the Western calendar
Yeah.
and the calendar that most of the world uses
Yeah.
outside of I think like East Asia, maybe India and like the Middle East.
Is it like a Fahrenheit versus Celsius thing?
Almost,
Sick.
but it's all based around whenabouts Jesus was, and Jesus
Right.
was like +30 ish.
He died at
Like
33.
3. Yeah.
I-
So
I-
he was
I beat
like,
him.
but I think he was born a
I'm
little
better.
after 0.
I'm a better
Right.
person.
So you have
After
BC.
0. Everyone was like, wait, wasn't everyone born after 0?
No,
And
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no, yeah. So
That's so
BC.
pretentious. He would have hated that, by the way.
What?
To
Let's make
we
the
should
entire
fucking
calendar
start
based on
time
him. Yeah.
based on.
Well, the Romans actually.
When I had my
they used,
quinceañera.
the Romans used. There's number 2. Since the founding of the city as their like calendar, which I thought was pretty cool when I found that out. Let's see. So you have BC and AD. So that's before Christ and Anno Domini. Anno Domini means the year of our Lord. So basically
Why
years
didn't they
since.
use Latin words for before, but they used
I
them
don't
for
know.
AD?
I don't know. Ask Pope Gregory.
I will. Next time
I don't even know if he's the one
at
that.
our meeting,
Yeah. The next time you meet,
Pope Gregory.
yeah, who was born in the 13th.
1200 to 1299.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So
I've-
Anno Domini means year of
This
our
is an
Lord.
educational podcast
Yeah, yeah.
because I learned one thing.
Yeah. Is everything basically after Jesus was around, right?
God,
but
I
now
don't think-
now there's a big push for BCE and CE, which means before Common Era and Common Era, or
Don't change it.
before Christ existed and Christ's existence. Maybe I
Fuck
guess
that.
if
Dude, I would have been furious if I was a historian in Japan in like 350
In
like,
zero?
no,
In zero.
but you're like, this is when this happened, and then they're like, some dude died a long time ago. Fuck your numbers.
yeah,
That would frustrate me. Anyway,
350 years ago. Yeah.
favorite president.
Yes.
Bring him to a
Yeah,
water
so,
park or just
sorry,
a theme park, like
19th century president. So we're talking 1800.
1800 to 1899.
Yeah.
Six
Which-
Flags, Great America.
Which president would be the most fun to bring to Busch Gardens?
Right. Are you intentionally bringing them because they're a little racist and you know they're going to like
Well, I was going to
Throw a
say,
fist?
do we do like Obama or not Obama?
Obama? Jesus.
Sorry, not Obama.
Yeah,
I think
my favorite-
of the 19th century presidents. He'd be the best.
Bro, we've been to Six Flags.
He could be there now.
So I don't even.
Great.
I honestly don't even know why I said Obama, but this is going to sound really bad when I bring up water parks because I don't know.
He can swim.
I know. Okay, cut that out.
Probably.
We can't do that one. Okay.
Boy, I'm an ally. I said black people
so-
can probably swim.
Circling back. I don't know. I don't remember where I was.
Presidents.
Yeah. So I think if we include water parks, I think that might
And we
change
do-
the
on this
answer.
podcast we do.
We do include water parks.
Sure.
We are water park.
You know what? We
allies.
should give two answers.
Yeah, one with water parks, one without.
Yeah.
Because as I say, water parks, you see bikinis, you're in like water, swimming all the time. Some of them might be hesitant because they don't know how clean the water is when it's really not that clean.
Do
But
they
we say
know?
it's
Did they have a
clean.
good idea about
Clean water? Yeah.
cholera,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
meningitis
At that
together?
point, yeah.
At that point,
Okay, so germs. We fucked
Germ
with
theory
germs.
was like late 17th century.
It's funny
which
how we
is-
took like a 4-year break by
you
not
didn't
caring
put
about
the
germ theory.
Wisconsin Dells in the water parks, by the way.
Okay, so water. Give me your water park answer first. We'll
Okay.
do it backwards.
Okay. I think the
Which
least
gay
hesitant.
which gay president and which atheist president? Yeah. So give me your funnest time. Like you'd be napping in the car when your parents bring you home from the water park because you and fucking I was like Aaron Carter, my favorite president. He liked candy.
I want to say Billy Taft.
Oh fuck! I was thinking Taft because that dude could eat.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, but he'd
not
be,
at the water
he'd be
park,
running
though.
your wallet. He'd
Just-
be getting churros and pretzels and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he had the thing about bathtubs because he got stuck, right? Or is that really happened, right?
I don't think that really happened.
You think
Because
the
he was
anti-Taft
He didn't
lobby-
like die in office. Like he was served as chief justice. Isn't that so novel? He was chief justice of the Supreme Court after he was president of the United States.
It's like a hobby.
He swore in like 2 presidents.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sick.
So Taft, because you'd enjoy not even the rides, but just
Just watching him.
you think he'd be chill,
Have a-
just eating a whole fucking turkey.
He'd be
leg.
eating, dude. He'd like strip down to his little swim trunks, freaking belly high, like trunks, and like showing all that knee and
He's a big boy.
getting stuck on
He's
the
a
water
big boy.
slides. It'd be fun to watch, I think. But let's go a little because everybody knows he's fat. I think
Yeah.
potentially. I feel like a.
He died because he was fat.
You wouldn't bring
he was
Andrew
fat.
Jackson to a Six Flags?
I don't know. I think he'd be really upset that there's a lot of people of color.
I think you could put the blinders on and just. I think you have to do like a intervention.
I'd
and be
have
like,
to
Look,
be
we're
like-
focused on having a good time.
I'd be like Drew.
Oh, we're on a first name basis.
Well, I wouldn't
What
go-
t-shirt's he wearing? What does he bring?
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
fair.
go.
That would no, that incentivize him.
Yeah.
What t-shirt's he wearing?
He'd probably make all the people of color call him Mr. Jackson.
That's true. But what t-shirt is he wearing?
What
when you
T-shirt is he
two-
wearing?
When you
He's
bring
wearing
Andrew
he's
Jackson?
wearing a picture of himself
like we both said.
holding like a ping pong ball, like he's getting ready to like play beer pong, and it says like political party on it because he founded the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Whoa, he was
Or-
big.
What does he eat when he's there?
Suffragettes. It would be like a suffragette shirt,
Oh, like
or
that.
Rosie the Riveter. It would say
Oh.
like we can do it.
Right, because your take that we had talked about earlier was
Yeah.
he was your favorite
Suffragette. Yeah.
Suffragette, Andrew
Yeah,
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson, my favorite suffragette.
Can you explain that to
Oh.
the people who are not me who are definitely
so
ignorant to this?
he expanded suffrage to
And not suffering.
not suffering.
Which he did.
He did do a little bit of that.
Maybe he confused him. He was like, "Mr.
Well,
Do
okay.
you want to expand suffraging?" And he's like, "What?"
My point is,
Say
and I'll get back to Andrew Jackson, but like
Yeah.
people have a hard time identifying historical people as like gray in general, and so I use this as kind of like a shock.
Morally gray, I'm assuming.
Yeah, morally
not
gray.
like,
Yeah. Not
He's
literally.
far away and hard to see.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of fuzzy, right?
Yeah.
No, morally gray, and going to what I was saying before is like in Gladiator 2, right?
The fucking Romans are second
This
callback.
will get back.
Did you
This
see
will-
Gladiator 2?
I did,
I
yeah.
didn't see it yet. Is it good?
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal
Okay.
looks so yummy.
yeah. He's a good-looking guy.
Okay. We should watch that.
We could watch
We could do
that,
a
yeah.
live,
A live.
like, for our premium
We would
subscriber.
just talk
singular.
through 2.5 hours of movie, and then you'd have no idea what happened.
I don't have any idea what happened during the first Gladiator.
That's
I've seen
fair.
it like
That's
4
fair.
times.
The Emperor Caracalla in that movie is
Yeah.
depicted as like cartoonishly evil.
Sure.
When he and I'm going to make this illusion here, much like Andrew
Like a card
Jackson,
trick, or-
expanded voting rights to a lot of people. Right. So for Andrew Jackson, that was expanding voting rights to all white men,
As opposed to who before? Was
all
it just
white
landowners?
landowning.
How much land did you have to own? If
Any.
it was like,
I think it was any.
so literally, if it
The
was
state
like,
had to recognize that you owned land as property.
So if I had like a 3x3 foot
Sure.
phone booth and I'm like, mine,
Yeah.
they were like, sick, go vote.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there an actual?
That's why like it
So
was
there's
seen as kind
landed
of like clownish.
gentry.
So I know there was like the 4 acres and a mule type
That was the expansion
doctrine.
westward.
Stop,
Yeah.
make your own podcast.
Yeah.
Cut
No,
me
no,
out.
she's
I know
right.
she's right, but I'm still cutting her out.
That
we
was-
can't have that.
that
We're
was-
I'll cut
we're
it out. I'm
it's
the editor.
it's 2025. Like we can cut out women now.
Yeah.
Again.
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 Bring it back. We're bringing back cutting out women.
Jesus.
Anyways,
this is not my policy. This
what
is
were
not
we
my
saying?
policy.
So yeah, no.
Agree.
So any amount of land owned, to my knowledge, and
Like
this
a
could be wrong.
micrometer.
And this is one thing your dad is gonna message my dad and be like, "Your son's dumb. Look at what he said. He said any land.
Oh, he already
it's
messaged you.
actually
He hasn't even listened yet.
It's actually 10 by 10 that you have to own.
10 by 10 units.
10 by 10 yeah.
Cubits.
10 by 10 stone. They use that as that's a unit of weight.
Stone's a weight, yeah.
Stone is weight, yeah.
Are we going to do the Star Wars? Did you know that it's actually a measure?
Is actually
it's actually a measure of distance and not time.
Yeah, because Han Solo curved around a black hole, and because he passed through the event horizon, it was actually, So
I can feel your virginity grow back.
Yeah, right. That was crazy.
Again. Andrew Jackson, morally gray.
Morally gray. More so morally gray than people identify him as. I'm not saying he was a wholly morally gray person. I think he definitely leaned more to the morally bad side with a lot of the policies he did, especially from a modern day perspective.
Sure.
He was very anti-establishmentarian. He was very going against a lot of what the Senate and Congress were saying.
Was he doing that because he actually opposed the policies, or So does that?
He was just morally against it.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that doesn't make him. And I don't even know what the policies are. I think it's morally unethical, unethical. The bad one,
Unethical.
not ethical, not ethically. I think it's not okay to be against policies just to arbitrarily be against them. That's more
because the other side agrees. But there was no for him. There was no other side. The other side was just the establishment.
So is he against all policies because he cared about the outcome of the policies, or is he against them because he didn't believe that they should be making any policy?
I think most people do what they think is right in their mind, and they feel really bad about themselves when they don't do what they think is right in mind. And I think especially politicians are doing what they think is the right thing to do.
Sure. But
and I think he was not. I don't think he was anti-institution. I think he liked the institution that gave him a lot of power, that got him elected.
Sure.
He fought, bled, and almost died for this country, right?
Sure.
20 years before he was elected president. But I think what he was against was the then current establishment.
So, but was he voting
He
against...
strong-armed Congress into
ahead.
passing a law that expanded suffrage to all men, regardless of whether or not they were landowning. To
good
Congress
start.
at the time, that was all white men. So that is how we can
emphasis on
look at
good
it.
start.
Right.
Emphasis on good start, not on good.
So going back to Caracalla.
To
Caracalla.
What? Oh, the fucking
the
gladiator.
emperor.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Not cartoonishly evil in real life. Definitely did some evil stuff. Expanded Roman citizenship, which granted suffrage to all landowning people, all landowning citizens were
And
granted.
who was it before then?
It was
Even
just
more
people
specific.
in Italy.
Jesus Christ.
Just landowners in Italy were Roman citizens.
That would have been wild if that's how it was in America. If you couldn't vote unless you owned land in Italy.
You can't vote
Really?
unless you owned land in the original 13 colonies.
Yeah.
That would be really funny.
Um,
Or just Virginia, actually, and I think most Virginians would back me on that.
right, that's because they're 50th in education.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Uh,
I think
it's
that's
not.
Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah, it's either Mississippi or Kentucky.
New Jersey's #1 in education.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
I hate people. I have a friend from New Jersey.
There's
He's
30
the worst.
people there, though.
He's the worst.
Is he smart?
No,
He's
We
sent
call
to
him. We
Kentucky.
call him
We call him Dumb Jim.
King of the Midwits.
You've told me that's a very I'm smarter than you joke.
It is, yeah.
I don't know why you're friends.
Yeah. Well, because it's like how America is friends with Turkey. You know what I mean? They have the skeleton in the closet. They did the genocide, right? But they let us put nukes there in case Russia gets rowdy, right? And the same as my friend.
Did we do that? Do we have them there?
Probably.
Okay. We hope
I think we did.
Sure.
We did missiles and
We did missiles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have places
Got shit
there.
I definitely
shit
did not
there.
hear that in a
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't look into it.
Yeah.
It's super not classified.
yeah. Anyways,
I
don't know what classified means. So
it's in the paper when you're trying to buy. Those ads are classified. Have you ever heard
I'm
classified?
classified as a male.
It's true, there is
From birth.
classification here.
Yeah.
No, not anymore, remember?
No, that's right.
Yeah, female
The
today.
DEI policies got rid of that.
No, now it's actually DEIA. They added it.
What is the A?
Accessibility.
Accessibility.
Right.
For all of our
It's for
disabled people.
It is. It means that, technically...
I'm not getting any.
Oh my God.
Are you getting any?
Well, not anymore.
Not
No,
anymore.
so
They removed the A. The A was the problem.
No. So intentionally, I'm just going to say, like, to try to remain apolitical for the current administration, added so they could remove all four. A policy is like wheelchair accessibility no longer necessary, has to be there for like certain government entities.
I don't think there's anything wrong with like wheelchair accessibility.
Well,
and we have
you're not going to have it
in our building.
Oh, so you're saying, yeah, but to get into there, I'm saying like for federal, property, yes, there is.
Are there steps?
Mm-hmm.
No, you mean no, it has to be at a certain incline. If you otherwise could do a job,
that's like most sidewalks.
Yes, but they removed that. You don't have
They're
to do that.
They're removing the sidewalks?
Shut up.
How am I going to walk to
the side?
Yeah. How am I going to...
You have to drive your Cybertruck over immigrants. No, part of that policy is, they revoked that, and as well as like the hiring practices for you legally could. Well, this is going to become Gabriel's ignorance that Reid's dad can then correct me on and say, haha, he's stupid. Which I hope happens. That'd be cool. That means we have two listeners.
My dad
and your dad. For the way that the executive...
that they're going back and forth in a text chain.
They have their own... What if they have their own podcast and they just do a live reaction?
Just rip into us?
Yeah. No, for how executive orders work, because I was far more focused on my girlfriend in World of Warcraft in civics. For how executive orders work, they got rid of the protections that have been around since the Reagan... 1965. Was that Reagan? 65?
No.
Reagan-ish.
Reagan was the 80s.
So who was it?
Reagan, or sorry, that was Kennedy.
No, it was a different one. Whoever did the protections, you can legally discriminate. Yeah, whatever. You can legally discriminate in terms of hiring practices. So if you...
Johnson.
It was Johnson.
Johnson.
Thank you. That's why you're here.
Not Andrew. Lyndon B.
Not Andrew. Not the one that... he's busy at the theme park.
No. You're thinking of Andrew Jackson. Not to be confused with Andrew Johnson.
Who's busy at the
Andrew
theme park.
Johnson is just a bad person. Like, if you go back and look, like, he's the kind of person that would object to things that Congress did just for the sake of objecting to them. Because he was, like, racist.
Oh.
Whereas Andrew Jackson, I think, genuinely thought he was doing the right thing, regardless of the fact that he was racist.
And I think we do have contrarians in politics who intentionally are obstructionism or are obstructing for the sake of
being government.
Yeah, I think it's if government is inefficient, then you'll have to privatize as much as you can, and if it's privatized, I can profit off of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is I'm not going to say it's a reality because that's cheating, and I don't want to be that pretentious, but that's a leftist viewpoint.
Yeah.
And I think reality tends to mirror it. That's my nicest way to try to claim it. But yeah, as of now, I think you can legally discriminate in hiring practices, and if you're building a building, you can kind of just say fuck them if they are... I don't know if handy capable is the nicest I know. I'm trying to be inclusive, even though I don't have to be anymore. If that's the nicest way to say it. But people who are facing physical setbacks is the nicest euphemism. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
You're trying to be accessible.
I'm trying to be accessible, despite not being legally obligated.
Water park.
You brought Taft?
Taft.
Because it's funny.
I
thought you were bringing him to the regular theme park because you'd want to see him eat all the fun food.
No, that too. Okay. But also the water park. Like, I'm bringing him to both.
You want to see him do a flop.
Again, I think that's way too surface level. Yeah. And I think that's like something that somebody with like sub 100 IQ
for
would
babies.
Answer.
Room temperature IQ, people choose Taft.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because they're like, haha, you fat, right? But I
took my pick.
I think it would be funny to like introduce somebody like
James Garfield, just a fucking way out of left field. Like, why?
Yeah. No.
Who is Teapot Dome?
James Garfield, because then I could like introduce him to Garfield memes, which would be.
That's it. That's your one.
Be like, hey, while we're here, look at this. Look at this funny orange cat.
Did you also hate Monday's James Garfield?
Hey, James A. Garfield.
It was your VPO.
Hey, the assassinated president, James A. Garfield. I know you're missing like half of your sternum right now, but can you tell me if you also hate Mondays? Do you think that's what he said after he got shot? Is I hate Mondays?
Yeah. What if it was? Wait. What's Garfield? Oh. Who's
Lasagna.
the dad? No. Who's the dad?
Odie. No. Odie's the dog.
Nermal's the girlfriend. No, but John. What if it was a John who assassinated Garfield? Wouldn't that be a wild take?
Crazy. It would have to. Then Garfield, like the Garfield comic, would have to be like invocative of that for sure. If that was the case.
That's why he never turns his head.
Yeah.
He's just missing.
Yeah, he's missing.
Garfield minus Garfield.
Yeah. Okay,
No.
so water park, you're choosing. Drum roll.
You see, that's the problem, right? It's like you bring John Adams, he's going to be really like self-conscious that he's shorter than everyone there.
That's why I don't go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
People keep trying to drown me.
Yeah.
But that could be fun for you.
James Monroe would try to like claim half the park as his and be like, "You can't come over here, and I won't come over there."
That's not fun.
Teddy would be. I guess Teddy.
I think
was,
Teddy would be a good time.
Yeah, but he's 20th century.
I don't know how these work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 19 to. Yeah.
But yeah, Teddy Roosevelt would be fun.
Lincoln's
He'd be
too early,
carrying.
right?
He'd be waving around his big
Big
stick in the
stick.
water park.
Lincoln would be too early, right?
Lincoln is.
He's prime?
1860.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I said
to
17.
1865.
I said 17. No, I said 18.
You said 19th century.
Dude, I'm bringing Lincoln. I call
1800s.
dibs.
Be
Yeah.
Why? Because he'd
He
be like,
needs
he'd be
it.
like, look at how many white and black people are getting along.
Well, depends on where that water
At a
park
water
is.
park is.
Depends where that water park is.
Oh, that's terrible.
No,
It's terrible.
No. I think he needs the break. You could be like, did the Civil War end? I'm like, brother, you see this slide? Like,
Look, it's orange.
Yeah.
Look, we dyed it orange. That's how prosperous we are. We dyed the water slide orange.
was that a sign of prosperity
I
to
don't know,
dye things
maybe.
with
I don't know.
polyurethane?
I know purple was like 2,000
Yeah,
years
royalty.
ago.
'Cause-
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, the purple dye is the hardest to attain.
right.
Nerd emoji.
No, I called dibs on Lincoln for the water park. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to morally gray it.
James Buchanan was a very ineffective president who had a lot of bad things happen under him that he did not react effectively to. I think he needs a break more than Lincoln does.
But if he didn't, but does he deserve it if he didn't respond appropriately?
Does he deserve it? Did Lincoln respond appropriately?
Yeah, I think. What are we
Can
still?
we say like objectively he did or didn't?
Yes, I'm claiming that. Are we still upset over suspending habeas corpus?
I think you should be upset over suspending habeas
Why?
corpus, but I do think that there were states that were in active rebellion, and so I understand the decision regardless of whether or not I agree with it. Is that a comfortable take?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Especially because Lincoln and I are too busy frolicking on
On
the big kahuna.
The big kahuna. On the griffin.
No,
like he's
is that-
hanging. He's hanging
one
over
of those.
the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I want to see him.
Lincoln on the drop tower would be crazy. He'd be
I
too
want
tall. He'd
him-
be too tall to ride.
I want him to get. I mean, imagine you go and you're like, all right, a slice of pizza is like $6, and he's like, what? The fuck? 'Cause
Lose his shit. Every president.
That's
would lose
3
his
weeks.
shit.
That's 3 weeks' income, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I brought pennies to that woman. I followed her home and gave her some pennies that she missed as change.
that would be kind of fucked though if he saw a homeless person and gave her 4 cents,
Oh,
and then he's like, "I'm your savior," and then they're like, "Fuck you,
Dude, 4 cents? What kind of buying power do you think this gives me? Lincoln would go back, like, he'd just, like, be grabbing dollar bills everywhere, I think. Like, he'd be like...
Oh, the 5 because
Yeah.
he's like, "Cool, my face is on."
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah. Well, no, that's not what I was saying, but that is funny, too. Like, he'd be taking $5 bills back with him and be like, guys, look, they remember me fondly. And they're like, what is this? Where'd you get this from?
And why are you wet?
Why are you...
Why do you have?
Why do you have swim trunks on?
And what are swim trunks?
Why do you have swimming trunks on? I don't know why do
Is
I
that your
imagine...
villainary James Bond voice?
Why do I imagine 19th
That's how- yeah,
century
that's how they
Americans
talk.
as like British? I don't know why.
That's very
They still
bad.
have the British accent.
I'm trying to think of presidents who I'd want to bring to
Yeah,
six.
see?
Yeah. Oh,
Who would-
that's your shitty Churchill.
Yeah.
What was my
chewer. Spit on that thing. You get me?
famous Churchill quote when it was getting really bad during World War II?
We'll fight you on the beaches. we'll fight you on the chewers.
Who was the first president of the century that I said, and the last president? And I'll probably remember who was in the middle.
The last one you said was Taft. Taft was the latest.
Okay, and who was my first edition?
Andrew Johnson would just be angry the entire time. I think the earliest we said was
Monroe.
John Adams.
Monroe?
James Monroe was early too. I think he was. Martin Van Buren probably couldn't
Not very
speak
fun.
English. Yeah, he'd be like, "Where's Andrew Jackson? And how do I suck him off more?"
Yeah, who superseded Lincoln? Who came right after Lincoln?
Johnson,
I'd bring Johnson, knowing very
not
little.
Lyndon B. Andrew.
Yeah,
No, bring Lyndon B.
No,
Lyndon
Lyndon B.
B.
Johnson would be like, how do I make money off the Vietnam War? Is the Vietnam War still going on, and am I still making money on it?
Yeah.
Just try to whip it out in the middle of
Did
the
anyone figure out that I killed JFK?
No.
No.
Has anyone? Well, those files were just declassified.
Not yet.
They
He
will.
quote unquote said he really, really wants them to. Which he
No,
could've
he
done
signed
last
an executive
time.
order that was like, hey,
Yeah. Well, he also.
right now.
hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Well, he also signed one to remove birthright citizenship. So who the fuck
Yeah,
knows
that's
what
true.
that paper's worth?
Yeah, it's fair.
Which president did I just say? One of the Jackson brothers.
Johnson. And there's, Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. Yeah, I'd want him to know it came out okay.
He's a
think he
really
must have been-
shitty person.
Well,
This is a really bad person you're bringing to the amusement park.
You know what? Yeah, but
He'd
I'm
be
gonna
really
give her-
mad.
Why was he
He'd
mad?
be like, I'm a Southern Democrat. Why are all these black folk walking around here?
Oh, but then you know what? That's a learning opportunity for
They
me
might beat him
to.
up. That would be cool.
That's
Well,
true.
so he was the one that made the deal with Congress.
Mhm.
Hey, if you immediately end Reconstruction, or sorry, no, what
Start
was it?
Reconstruction. They certainly didn't end it.
No, because Reconstruction was ongoing at the end of Lincoln's presidency,
Mhm.
and he was super anti-Reconstruction, and that's what he did. He's like strong-armed Congress to pull all like military and state forces out of the South.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're-
So that the South could-
join the Union,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, and and then that's when they instituted all the Jim Crow laws. Yeah.
Well, then I want to bring him specifically so he knows that his team lost,
Yeah.
and so we can go on the
Like, hey,
some
look at the
sweet
Democrat
posters.
Party nowadays, and they're waving around rainbow flags, and he's like, "Wow, they're praising God," and you're like, "No, that means gay. That's what that
And-
means.
yeah, but
the
then he's
rainbow
like gay,
doesn't mean
yeah, but then he's
God
like gay
anymore."
means happy.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a few levels.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say
they're
our team-
homosexual, and he's like, "Me too. We all are, bro." And you're like, "What is going on in 19th century America?"
Like,
Plot twist: all of our presidents were gay up until
whoa, but no atheists. See,
No,
my
they're-
team won.
they're-
My
yeah,
team won.
Yeah, your team won.
So, do you think liberalism, from their perspective, is successful? If you were like, hey, black people can vote, they can own land, they can hold jobs, women can vote, they can hold jobs, but, and then you like, I'll just say, look towards some trending like presidential powers, look towards, hey, we're going to create a cryptocurrency and then immediately sell it for some $40 billion. You know, when Jimmy Carter had to sell his fucking peanut farm because he made 30 cents off of it, you know, in the 60s.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think Lincoln would look...
They'd be like, "What is this corporatist hellhole that America's turned into?"
So do you think...
I think they'd be terrified. They'd hate it. I
Really?
think they'd be happy with a lot of the
Mhm.
socio-economic reforms we've made, where like all people of color are accepted as, you know, being the same as individual economic units.
And we can debate the
Right?
merits of does society consider them equal based on poverty rate, based on, you know, the industrial prison complex system, right, versus how well they're treated by the justice system, all that, education system, hiring practices. But I think in general, like, do you think George Washington would be like, what are aircraft carriers and how fucking great is it that we have like 11 of them?
Yeah, so there's the thing about like people argue like, oh, Teddy Roosevelt would be a conservative today, Teddy Roosevelt would be a liberal today, and Teddy Roosevelt would be like, I am quite fond of the F-22 Raptor.
Maybe I'm just more literal and I'm like, George Washington would be a 320-year-old man. Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
He'd be, like,
a
really
skeleton.
ancient.
Yeah. No,
No powdered wig, so he's got like red hair.
that'd be sick.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I am quite fond of the F-35 Lightning II.
Yeah.
Raptor.
No, F-35 is the
F-35.
Lightning.
F-35.
F-22 is the Raptor.
F-22. You said 22.
I-
He said-
35.
Yeah, but then he switched it to 35.
Oh, 35.
This is why you can't vote. She can still
Hey,
vote.
repeal the 19th. I've been saying it for years.
Oh my god.
I'm
Not to
sorry, I
women.
didn't mean it.
Not to women. That's why you're single.
Exactly. It's true. It's true.
F-22 is the hands down the sexiest.
Yeah, we're debating.
Oh my god, yeah, the F-22 is...
Yeah. We
Oh, yeah.
We are big old.
Yeah.
See, look, we are pro Air Force.
And then-
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, right? And
Oh.
and then somehow
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine returned. and then somehow Palpatine invented the J-20 and also the J-35.
What? Why the Star Wars reference? Palpatine, I'm assuming
Palpatine
not a
returned.
Roman
No,
emperor
no.
like the Star Wars guy.
I was saying like, and then somehow the Chinese like made the exact same thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
we have
yeah.
no idea how they did it, how they do it. No,
But we do know.
we know. I mean, do we?
Yeah.
They have spies in the government probably.
Yeah, like the golf courses.
They go, what?
Yeah. Like the whole Mar-a-Lago spying thing.
Oh,
That
yeah.
we just don't get to do anything about.
They were in the room when Trump was like, "Don't look too closely at our invasion plans of Iran. It's classified."
Yeah. Yeah. But we will obey all orders and treat all people with respect.
Oh,
and
100%, absolutely.
comply with all DoD policy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
I-
looking forward to that.
I love the opportunities that have been afforded to me by being a member of the
Oh, me
world's
too.
greatest United States Air Force.
We're the best Air Force of the United States.
Exactly.
Fuck that. Fuck you, Civil Air Patrol.
No, I say that facetiously. Best
Yeah,
Air
yeah,
Force in
yeah.
the world, I think. I still think.
I
best Air
mean,
Force in
I
the world.
don't. Do you think it's the best because of, and this is like such the four-star general answer, our people, or it's because we throw hundreds of billions of dollars at it, so our pilots get better training hours and technology? Okay, I'm seeing a head nod.
I think it is the latter there, but I also think the people are what make the organization, and that is across every institution. Is
Sure.
the people that are in charge, that the people that do like all the bitch work, those individuals are what make that institution great. And so I think it is a little bit of both. But I do
Right.
think that because we fund the military so much, because we have so much excess funds to give to the Department of
Ooh,
Defense.
spicy word. You said excess funds. That's
Well-
like we weren't going to use them for something else when we talked
Well,
about Roosevelt.
or we're going to use them for debt.
No, you can use them. We can appropriately fund things like when FDR said, paraphrasing, like every bomb and bullet spent is
Okay. All right.
food taken out from a starving child's mouth.
Yeah. When you get paid every month,
Uh-huh.
you put money into savings.
Yeah.
Do you put every dollar that you're not going to immediately use to pay off bills, to buy food,
Yeah, but I'm
for
not- I don't-
necessities?
yeah, but
do you
I'm
do you
not-
have excess funds?
Yes.
Right. That money could be going to
An
other
F-22.
things. That money, you need
Yeah.
that money taken out
Yeah,
in
but
taxes
this
to
is
pay
a
for.
false pretense because I'm not intending on operating like a government. So, fuck you.
Does your home operate like a democracy?
No. It's a tyranny because I'm the only one who lives here.
Well, yeah, but let's say you and your wife live together.
Yeah, let's say that.
Would you two be voting on what to have for dinner, or would you decide?
We vote.
It's a combination.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, I guess a vote wouldn't work. You'd need three options.
We need the cat doesn't vote.
Unfortunately.
It's a benevolent dictatorship. I think over certain things. It depends. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm going to be a benevolent dictator.
So
and
it's like
I'm
you guys
making
are
this.
sharing like the consulship,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Sometimes you just do a protein shake, and I'm like, I need to eat this bag of spinach.
which is totally fair. Yeah.
Mm.
So you are empowering yourselves to spend your money.
We're not a democracy.
We also have two households. Right
The
now.
government is not a household. Stop making these stupid metaphors. Yeah, well, if I was...
If the government was the nuclear family,
Yeah, fine. If we're a government, I want a nuclear weapon. I want to be able to print
That's
my
not
own
what I mean.
cryptocurrency.
I mean,
Nope,
like
we
mom,
can't. We're not
dad.
half-assing
I wanted
it.
a radiated A10.
Yeah, we're not half-assing this.
no. Okay, sure. The government is not a household.
Thank you.
Is the government? I think the government. You could say the government is like an expansion or extension of like the American individual, because we do have voting power, because we do decide the outcome of elections with our votes.
Sort of. I mean, our land votes a lot more than we do, and then we also like disenfranchise
That's
DC.
yeah.
We also disenfranchise like DC and Guam and Puerto Rico, and then like if you're a voter in California, your vote is worth like 20 less than if you were worth if you were a voter in like a swing state like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think
just per
everyone's
capita,
vote is worth nothing compared to the voters in swing states.
Yeah, which is a freaking shame.
Because
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, like one of like yeah, it's just the ratio of like red to blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in these purple states where you have a closer ratio of red to blue, those people out decide the outcome of elections. So a lot of
Right.
people will say like this election was decided by this many electoral votes. Okay, what does that mean? Right? That means that 10,000 people in this Pennsylvania county voted this
yeah.
way as opposed to 20,000 voting the other way. You know what I mean, right? So
No, it's-
those are the people that decide the outcome of elections, realistically.
No, it's wild when you could have an election decided by a few dozen counties, like
Yeah.
happened in Florida
Yeah.
in 2000. And it's just wild that it's not. And I don't have a great solution to it. I don't know if it should just be straight popular choice or popular vote.
Popular
I don't
sovereignty.
know. I'm all for ranked choice voting, because
Do you think it would make your side win more?
Well, I'm not only for things because it'll lead to a world that represents my moral or ethical values. I also just think it's more equitable to have ranked choice voting, because I wouldn't have voted for either person. I'll just say either candidate running in most elections, had I had better options. And you're more likely to have more options when you're literally given more options. But if it is literally vanilla or chocolate, no racial in there, just literally 2 flavors, and it doesn't have to be 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins or however many fucking flavors they have. But if you're given a few, people have to compete for your vote more.
Yeah.
And that's an issue that both parties have probably always faced, because you're going to get people who...
Or rather, they haven't faced.
Correct. I misspoke.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
And that's my
Yeah.
one apology per day that I'm using.
Yeah.
Um,
That means I win.
You've won the conversation.
I've won episode 1. I got Gabriel to apologize.
No, conservatism wins. Andrew Jackson was the right person to bring to the water.
No, not Andrew
Beat
Jackson.
that guy with a cane.
He did. He got.
Yeah.
You know about this, right?
Yeah, the cane thing.
He got shot like 3 times,
Yeah.
and then he
beat that guy with a cane.
With a
almost
cane?
to death. Like his,
Uh-huh.
like the secret security, the secret service,
The secret security.
had to like grab him and physically pull him off of the dude because he was going to kill this guy.
He's passionate.
Yeah, that's
Don't,
crazy.
Don't hate passion.
Yeah, I think it was twice actually. I don't think he was shot 3 times.
Yeah.
Fact check
Too
myself
many.
there.
Yeah. So you lose. Now we're even.
Yeah.
I had a thing. Adderall.
Oh, that means we're 1-1.
Did done.
Ranked choice vote.
Ranked choice voting. Yeah, I think it's a shame that realistically, if you're a Democrat, you generally don't have to compete for LGBTQ plus votes, because you're going to capture 90% of those voters just by default, and your policies can generally suck. You don't have to represent their interests outside of those basic protections. And on the other side, if you are against abortion access, you generally don't have to give a shit about the majority of things that they should be caring about. You don't have to care about the environment. You don't have to care about good paying jobs or safe roads or infrastructure or a million other things. As long as you cover that one base, you're going to capture 90% of constituents who believe that. And I think that's a real shame. But if you had 4 LGBT defending candidates who varied on their platforms, then you could reasonably pick the best one instead of being stuck with the one. And the same if you had
The one that the party chooses.
Sure, or a more conservative candidate, and you had 4 of them who generally disagree with that access, but at least maybe they disagree on other things, so you don't have to have so much compromise.
Yep.
You should be able to pick the best one. I'm curious what the DNC and RNC seem to agree upon of why that sucks, and maybe there's value in that. And boy howdy, I hope, are there some lessons learned?
What's the saying is that the Americans also have a one-party state, but in typical American extravagance, they have 2 of them.
That sounds like a very snooty French saying.
It does sound like a very snooty French saying. I think it's
They're not doing so well with their democracy, so they can
comes from
suck it.
an African dictator, is what I heard.
Oh, I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
But it's a good saying. I think he missed the mark.
Do you think that was Coney, and he's just
It was
like,
Coney.
yeah,
It was Coney.
that'll get him off my back.
That'll make that dude stop making that documentary. as if I have this banger quote about American politics.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't stop us.
Dude, what was the Coney 2012 thing? I was not old enough to like.
He was a warlord who scooped up a bunch of kids in, was it like Rwanda, one of those, Sudan? I think it may have been Sudan, Darfur.
Jeez.
One of those generally ignored genocide countries that we kind of care about every 4 years.
Is he the Sudanese genocide thing?
You're going to have to narrow that down so much. We
Okay.
One of them that was a cannibal.
He was one of them.
Yeah.
He just gave a bunch of kids AK-47s.
I know that's why he's like South Sudan exists, and they were founded in South Sudan.
More
was
recently.
founded in 2012.
That is
I think it's
yeah.
the youngest nation.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Or
yeah.
Palestine.
Yeah.
Nope, not getting to that one yet.
Can't. Yeah, that'll be.
We'll
episode
get canceled
2.
episode 3. Yep.
Episode 2 will be.
Just.
How do you feel about Israel?
Yeah.
It'll
I
be-
feel great. Next step.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel great personally.
I'll do it all either in the Bill Clinton voice or my very good Jewish grandmother voice.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Listen, we've been going for what, an hour and 30 minutes?
Oh, can you see from there? Hour 30.
Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
been,
we've generally bored people.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. You know, and I feel like
We can cut these up into 14-minute episodes and just over monetize them. Just ads every 3 minutes.
that would be crazy.
Spotify Premium.
I feel like with us being at like an hour 30,
Mm-hmm.
we probably have about 30 to 45 minutes of this that we have to cut.
Yeah, including the
Potentially
sentence.
more.
No, we could probably let it all run. Other than some of the ums, we can see how we'll have our dads duke it out. One dad will want us to play the whole thing. The other's going to say cut this.
Well, should we close it out, or do you want to keep going?
No, honestly, we could have probably, if I was well hydrated, which I will be, we probably could have done a fucking 4-hour banger and not lost Dave. Yeah, which is nice. And I'm so glad we fucking figured out the audio quality. That was about to be its own podcast.
Hello. All distortions are
That does sound
intentional.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. My ASMR podcast. You're going to have to like and subscribe.
Today we're going to be talking about politics.
Yeah. Yeah. All distortions are intentional. So
I'm glad you don't have, what's the audio crackle that they talked about?
Vocal fry.
Vocal fry. No.
like a fry scream, like metalcore.
No. So like vocal fry is a real thing that women typically do, and sometimes they do it intentionally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think
Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel.
Is it like
she's a
this?
person.
Would
She's
they-
a Disney
would they do
person,
it like
right?
This? Would they talk like this? Is that what the?
Yeah, that's vocal fry.
Yeah, that's crazy.
God,
Why
I
do
hope I
people-
don't
Why do
sound
people
like
do
that.
like that? That's crazy.
I think it may be.
I don't
they're
want
more
people to
interesting.
like be turned on listening to this. I want people to have their
To
brains
hate.
turned on listening to this.
I think we have bad news on
Preferably,
both
yeah,
fronts.
preferably turned off. I don't want any future LGBTQ presidents to be
Oh,
listening
we don't
to
want our
this and
first
hear-
gay president.
We don't want our first gay president to be listening to this. bricked up,
Abe Lincoln Time
absolutely
Machine.
turned on by
Just
by Reed's
the
voice.
way we forgot to follow one train of thought was just so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now these dudes talked about like 10 things when attempting to talk
Yeah.
about two.
No, I again want to thank our corporate sponsor,
Oh, yeah.
Lockheed Raytheon,
Invest
maker
today.
of the Patriot missile system,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Boeing,
Thank you,
whose
Gabriel,
aircraft fly.
for
You're
being,
welcome.
being the host
You're
of
welcome.
this wonderful podcast.
I hope it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you to
Yeah.
our 2 or 3 listeners
Yeah.
who have made it. I hope you are driving safely, or you had a very successful shit,
Or you are already
or washing
asleep.
the dishes, or you're already asleep. Yeah, maybe that's the genres. We just go on.
Maybe we turn it down.
Oh, we do some of that. We just do it.
Getting later into the podcast, we talk a little
Don't do-
softer.
no,
and-
that will come up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, we just do a scream every 45 minutes.
Just to make sure you're still listening. Are you still listening?
You're here with sleep apnea, where just every 20 minutes. All right, I think that's our cap.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Thank you, all of our viewer for listening.
yeah, all viewer, yeah, who's not Todd?
Yeah. I hope you got
Something.
1 IQ point out of this.
Yeah,
Up
no,
or
you
down,
learned how
either
you
direction.
learned how a century worked.
Yeah.
I
Which
think
is
we
important.
covered
Presidents.
what moral gray is.
Yeah. What?
Covered gay,
Two-
atheist president.
we covered
We did gay and
atheist
atheist presidents. Yeah, we did
all
that.
of them.
Yeah.
I-
All of the 0
I
potentially.
affirm that Barack Obama can probably swim.
Yeah. Yeah. We learned about centuries.
and that if you pick
We
Taft,
talked-
it's a cop out.
We talked about dictators, Roman dictators versus modern
You
dictators.
talked about. I listened at you.
I pontificated about
You did.
dictators.
You dictated. Oh.
I dictated. That's good.
Yeah.
We talked about Billy Taft being fat. Which presidents we'd like to see at a water park.
Yep.
If we even stayed on that topic for more than 10
We made
minutes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we wasted enough of your time, and we look forward to wasting more.
Yeah.
This has been Gabriel Schatzman
Reid Robinson.
with Uncentered. Thank you so much.